Well, how do you do, everybody? It is your men on the movies. That's right, it's a movie review and a few, the Dennis and Andy show. We are here to review another movie in a short amount of time, hopefully 10 minutes or less. This week's movie, drum roll, The Blackening. Dennis, what's The Blackening? What is The Blackening?
The Blackening. It's a very concise short film, 1 hour and 37 minutes long, about seven black friends that go away for the weekend that wind up being trapped in a cabin out in the woods with the
A
killer
cabin in the
who
woods with
has a
black people.
vendetta. That's right.
Wow.
Will their street smarts and knowledge of horror movies help them stay alive? The original title was actually called "We Can't All Die First," and then they changed it to The Blackening, which I think was very good. It is directed by Tim Story, writers of Tracy Oliver and Dwayne Perkins. And Dwayne, of course, plays Dwayne in the movie.
Yes. I'll give it this. I'm glad that I didn't know that about the title. I'm glad they changed it. The other one was just too long and didn't. I mean, I guess if it went with the image of the movie poster, you'd get it. But I think The Blackening is a better title. It's actually kind of intriguing because you're like, "Ooh, what's that about?" The other one, you're just kind of like, "Oh." And yeah, it's my daughter went to see it. She's not a horror movie fan, but this is a comedy horror movie. It is rated R, but believe it or not, it's really rated R for the language. When it comes to the violence in the movie and the ways the killer kills people, not that violent. It's definitely nothing like a Friday the 13th or Halloween in regards to violence. There's actually very little bloodshed in this movie. It definitely is more character driven with the seven friends. They're getting together for a 10-year college reunion, not high school, at a cabin in the woods. Dietrich Bader is in it. You know him from the Drew Carey show. He was in, oh my God, and now I'm blanking on the name of it, but it was a comedy. Oh, American Housewife, I believe was the name of it. He played the husband in that, and he has voiced Batman. He is a fantastic comedic actor. He plays, believe it or not, a guy named Officer White.
Ranger
White. Um, they definitely poke fun at uh, white people, of course, but they do poke fun at themselves as black people in the movie, which I thought was nice because you don't want to go into a movie like this and think, or you don't want to see a movie like this and think, oh my God, is this whole movie just going to be all right? Let's beat up on white people, and they didn't do that.
Yeah, it's definitely not just a racial. It's not a racial justice movie or anything. And I know I heard some people talking about it. It really wasn't. But if you took the tropes in all horror movies, the black person is always the first one to die. And like I said, the original title, "We Can't All Die First," is kind of funny because it was literally an entire cast of black people. But if you took Scary Movie, Cabin in the Woods, and you smashed them together with all the tropes that are in black culture, that is literally what this movie is. They start going through, what Juneteenth is, because it takes place on that. And when you watch the trailer, because this is going to be spoiler free, but you see some of it, they have to play a game, kind of like Saw. We're here to play a game, and you need to answer these trivia questions. And they have some good trivia questions that are kind of funny. I even knew the answers to some of
You
them.
did.
It was kind of funny. But one of them was, like for the Black National Anthem, you have to be able to sing the second verse of it, and the reactions to everybody, and watching the TV show Friends, what happens here, and it's
going back to the Black National Anthem one, what was funny about it is you've got these seven characters and they're all looking at each other like, come on, you got to know it. And one person did, but what they actually knew better was, oh, wasn't it O'Reilly Auto Parts?
Yes.
Yes, they actually. Now this is a giveaway for this one joke, but it was funny because they're thinking they've got like they don't have a lot of time to come up with the answers when they're playing the game, and literally they all knew O'Reilly Auto Parts. And, they're just poking fun. And that is what I thought was so nice about this movie. There's actually more scenes in the movie of the actors interacting with themselves, as the movie goes on and they're trying to, escape this killer and play this game and stuff, than there actually are of the killer interacting with them. There is here's one of the things I thought was actually kind of cool is the movie wasn't packed. Now that's not it. It's the fact that Dennis, myself, and my daughter were there. And I'd say there were probably about 10 to 12 other people there. Now, what I find kind of refreshing in a way is it was majority Black people going to see the movie. But I was paying attention at stuff I laughed at and they laughed at. And I got to tell you, we all laughed at the same stuff. That's the thing. The movie literally isn't just made for A or B. It's made for everyone that has a freaking sense of humor. We all laughed at the same jokes throughout the movie. There wasn't one time in that movie we laughed, Dennis, Courtney, and myself, and nobody else did, and vice versa.
And one thing that they did do in the audience, and I love it when movies do this, there was audience participation. One guy was and he's laughing, he's clapping up there and stuff. And I love the fact that the audience wasn't afraid to laugh at the funny parts, cheer at things, wince at certain things that, were said or done. And, I love that in a movie. And that's exactly what happened.
Well, and the other thing they did too is they did play stereotypes with the seven people, and, the thing is, that's okay. Stereotypes are okay. There's a reason there are stereotypes. They're not a bad thing. But usually if the shoe's on the other foot, in other words, if, white director, white writers made this movie with the Black cast, and you play the stereotype game, then it's looked at like, almost being racist. And it's not. It's just there are stereotypes for a reason. To take race out of it, if, the jock, it doesn't matter what, what race you are, you can stereotype acting as a jock, a big dumb jock. I mean, that's a stereotype. So
we got to break down the story a little bit in terms of its production value. So the one thing that this movie didn't have a lot of, the story itself is very minuscule, very small. There's not a lot of plot. The entire movie is basically character driven / character interaction driven is really what it is. Yeah. It's a bunch of friends that get together. The entire beginning, first act, is nothing but setup. And it's their friends getting together. They have some built-in tension, which is, they set that up very nicely. It's a little slow, but you need that in order to get the personalities of all the different players. And once it gets going, it's great. Now, it's also set in a solitary scene. It's one house in one woods, and all the direction, all the action takes place on that. It's almost like a play in a way, because they've got a very small stage in which to play at, the house. And it was very cool that their interactions, they really did a nice job. And then when you do get the reveal of the killer, you're like, yeah, I kind of saw that coming. So there's the twists and turns. I don't know if it was purposely meant that way or not. Everything was very see-through, but it didn't detract from the overall fun of the movie.
Yep, I agree. And in terms of the actors, everybody knows I'm bad with names, but I remember Grace Burns. I believe that's her name. She's an actress in it. Did I get that name right?
Byers?
Grace Byers. There, yeah, I was close. Look at that.
She was awesome. I mean,
she was fantastic. And I got to
character was great with the type of person that they played. Everyone.
Yeah. And she was fantastic just because easy on the eyes. And she just had so much personality. She stole it for me. Dennis, you got the cast list in front of you. I'm just going to describe the woman. She was the heavyset black actress.
Oh,
She
that's Ex Mayo. She played Shanika.
she is from a TV show I discovered. It's been on for 2 seasons. I really hope it comes back for a third. It's called American Auto. She is on that, and she's one of my favorite characters on it. She is great. So to be able to see her cut loose from a NBC TV show to an R-rated movie where she can just cut loose with whatever she says and her actions was fantastic.
Yeah.
Um,
Jermaine
so I
Fowler plays Clifton, and then you get Cinqua Walls plays Namdi, and then Antoinette Robertson plays Lisa. All great. Their interactions were fantastic. Everybody in they all had like their stereotype little roles, and including Diedrich Bader, Bader being the Ranger. He's awesome. Everything just worked together in this. You could tell a lot of this was improv while they were doing it. I know there were scripted parts, but you could just tell there was some good improv and everything flowed pretty well. A fun time.
Yep. So let's give it the old CGC seal of approval. You go first.
I am giving this one a 7.5. I thought it was a fun movie. I thought some of the production value was a little low. And there were definitely some slow spots. But overall, it was a fun and enjoyable movie. I finished up and walked out and had to use the restroom after drinking my big old soda. And we were in there, and I met a guy, and we were in there chatting about the movie. We both had to run out to use the restroom. We just started laughing over parts. It's a movie you're going to be able to talk about. And I think Tim Story did a good job on this. 7.5, definitely, it's worthy to go see in the theater.
Yeah, I'm actually going with a 7.5 as well. I don't think it was slow in any parts, but I just thought it was a really well done movie. And production value wise, yeah, there were a couple scenes you're like, that's a set, but I mean that's obvious. I mean, that's picky. I think if you're looking for a fun, short comedy that isn't politically correct and no agenda behind it and stuff, I think this movie's for you. I think you will enjoy it. So go check that out. What do we got for audience, Rotten Tomato, all that fun stuff?
So IMDb is giving it a 6.5 average rating. And for IMDb, the audience is giving it an 85, and the critics are an 86. So 6.5,
there you go.
5, and then average them out. I guess that's a 7.5. So we're kind of right there with the overall audience. And yeah, go see it.
10.0 for Cordrat the Reckoning, though. Look at that. I snapped a rhyme, kind of like my boy Frega Boom, who does it all the time. Ho! Twice. Cordrat the Reckoning. We are getting close to the finish line on this bad boy, guys. Working on page 66. We are at $81,178, but with the other platform, $86,000 and change, kicking towards our next stretch goal of 90,000, which is the Necronite playable character card. Playable character, what's that all about? Hold your horses, I'll tell you. It's 76 pages, square-bound graphic novel, Cordrat the Reckoning, an exciting combination of Conan, Game of Thrones, and the magical wonder of Dungeons and Dragons. The best of two great genres. Explore the incredible world of the Shattered Reach. Read the book and get ready to play the game. The graphic novel and SRD 5e gaming module make for a unique and awesome experience. Wow, it sure does. Cordrat's tribe is overrun by a legion of the undead. He comes back, finds the slaughter, and now he, with the sorceress Adriana, must avenge his tribe while trying to find out and unlock the mystery of who's behind it and what do they want. read the first savage 8 pages here, go over to coredraft.com. Links are in the description below to read the first 11, because there might be one page that's a little saucy, if you know what I mean. Dennis does. He's the one that wrote it, so blame him. And we've got 5 different covers, 2 different t-shirts. To let you guys know, the t-shirts will be going to print and coming down around the end of July. Check it out. An oversized artist edition for you art lovers out there, so you can really see all the black and white in all its glory. Like I said, we've got a game module Dennis is doing, 24 pages, brand new story, fashioned in the old D&D type style. We've got a couple buddies play testing it to make sure this thing is going to be fun for everyone. So go check it out. Look at that throwback. Throwback ad is back, featuring the characters. It's a parody ad that Dennis wrote. So there you go, guys. And you know, Dennis is so in love with this project, he's speechless.
I am.
If I knew on a long drive all I had to do was get Dennis to shut up, was talk about Core Draft, well, I'd be doing this pitch like a broken record. I'd record it and just play it.
Andy did that whole thing in a single breath.
I did.
All right.
I did.
Just back it, and then we will catch you later.
Bye.